Things are looking bleak just 6 weeks before the election, as we've just had the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the Congress is now turning their attention almost exclusively to filling that slot with their favorite new justice. Unfortunately, much-needed relief bills for the pandemic are not on the top of the agenda, despite the fact that over the course of the last week, it seemed extremely optimistic that the two sides would reach a deal. Originally, between $2 and $3 trillion apart, the recent stimulus proposals had come as close as $200 billion in difference, with a bipartisan problem-solving caucus proposing a $1.5 trillion bill with $500 billion in additional relief that could be automatically triggered, bringing the total value of that bill to $2 trillion, whereas on the left, Nancy Pelosi reiterated her commitment to a $2.2 trillion bill. While that 10% difference seemed as though it was within spitting distance, the realities of filling another Supreme Court justice spot, this time with the departure of a liberal and the very likely replacement of that liberal with a conservative, given the fact that that is what the sitting president is causing serious turmoil on Capitol Hill. And it seems as though hopes of a new stimulus bill have been tabled for now. And with the tabling of the stimulus bill throws out the window my original hypothesis for what would happen over the next few weeks. Although the market could bull, there could be a huge bounce, the realities of the direct effect of stimulus on both the NASDAQ as well as the cryptocurrency ecosystems will appear to be fading. And it looks as though there's quite a long ways down for both markets. But today I'm going to be talking to you about one particular venue that I believe will at least act as a temporary buoy for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Today, I'm going to be talking about how many are going to be rushing into NFTs as they have shown tremendous resilience over the last few days while the rest of the market falls apart, and what this means for the future of the NFT ecosystem and what opportunities there are for you to get involved in NFT projects that could potentially still do gains over the next coming days and weeks while the rest of the market likely slides. So if you guys are excited to hear about what I believe is the best opportunity over the next few days, of course, if the whole market comes tumbling down, I believe the NFT market will also, to a degree, come tumbling down with it. But it's been considerably less hyped and considerably less inflated in value, and for that reason, it still has a chance to do multiples to the upside, and that's why I've just taken myself a couple of positions that I think you'll be interested in. So if you guys are interested in that and you think it's going to bring you value, then do me a favor, smash that like button, and of course remember that each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own Ledger Nano S. That giveaway, of course, is only for subscribers, so you have to be subscribed, and I encourage you guys to put that little bell notification on. That way you're actually made aware when I put out new content. First, let's just break down this inaction on Capitol Hill. We have Jerome Powell essentially saying that the Federal Reserve has what's called lending power but not spending power, meaning that they can make loans, but they can't unilaterally spend money, which is, of course, what the economy needs for recovery. But we have inaction on Capitol Hill saying that they're stuck with very little options here, and I don't really understand how that could be possible. You have both sides that want to make a deal, and maybe this is just a fake wanting to make a deal. Maybe the Dems are holding out because they want things to turn sour while Trump is still in office. Maybe the conservatives are trying to act ultra-conservative to keep their seats. I'm not sure what game is being played here, if it's a game at all, or if they literally can't get their stuff together to pass much needed relief bills. But regardless, what we have is what appears to be a very stiff lack of progress, the same lack of progress that has been plaguing us since the first CARES Act was passed back in March. The reality remains grim for a lot of Americans, as tens of thousands stand to lose their jobs in the airline industry without another relief package for the airlines. And a new report shows that up to 74% of hotels intend to lay off workers as well if there isn't some kind of relief. The writing is on the wall here, and I couldn't imagine that with no form of relief in place, with the crazy performance of the NASDAQ over the last few months, I could not imagine that we don't see some serious downside side without the government stepping in and intervening. Now, who is to say? We've seen the government do it before, and maybe they need that crash-like scenario in order to step in and do it again. But regardless, it seems right now the hopes of a multi-trillion-dollar relief package, similar to the one that happened in March, is looking like it's not going to happen, certainly before the November election. But regardless, the story of today is, of course, NFTs. And this whole thing got kicked off by Meme. Now, this began with a Reddit post that said, "This is crypto in 2020," with Meme at a price of, just call it just under $2,000. Now, I've been holding and farming Meme now for weeks. As I've told you guys, I first suggested this project at about $100. Obviously, I didn't sell it hard because it's a complete experiment, but since then, it did go up about 18x plus. And again, it feels good to be covering projects that do so much growth. Now, most of you might be confused as to what Meme is, and some of you might even be confused as to what NFTs are. So before I explain Meme, I'm just going to explain NFTs briefly. An NFT is essentially a digital asset. This isn't a currency, right? There can be just one of it. It's not like Bitcoin where you have 10 of them, 20 of them, and they're all the same. One Bitcoin is always the same as any other Bitcoin. An NFT is a unique token, meaning there could be just one of them, and it could represent ownership in something physical, like this little stuffed animal thing right here. Oftentimes, they represent ownership of things that are digital, but just think of NFT, a non-fungible token, meaning that they actually represent unique things, unique assets. NFTs first came to popularity through something called CryptoKitties, where they were creating these unique little cats where each one had its own attributes and some were more rare than others. It was like a game of chance. As you breed a new kitty, how rare are the traits? And if they're super rare, maybe you can sell them on the marketplace for a significant amount of money. Some of these NFTs, as stupid as it seems, were going for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even $100,000 or more. The biggest problem with CryptoKitties is that they rapidly lost value. They didn't hold on to their value, and there was no reason why they should. And so while CryptoKitties was an interesting experiment, the concept of NFTs have started to get picked up, and this is a potential huge avenue for cryptocurrency. And so now we come to Meme, which is of course the project that has set fire to the recent excitement around NFTs. And what Meme essentially pioneered was the concept of NFT mining. Meme is an experimental protocol that mashes up some of the most exciting innovations in DeFi and collectibles. You essentially take this token Meme and you put it to work by farming exclusive NFT memes. So what you can do here is you can go in and they have these cards here where you end up staking Meme, and then you can go in and you can see I can redeem this one for 1 pineapple. Or these are all sold out, all these rares. But here you can see a common here. It'll cost me 10 pineapples to mint this one. Or 10 for these ones. These are all commons, right? Because there's 1,000 of each one of these. You can see there is 87 minted, 913 left. So the commons have 1,000 of these each in the world, whereas the rares only had 100 of them in the world. And then you also have these Genesis LPs where you don't actually stake the token. You have to be staking in their Uniswap pool, and you take your liquidity pool tokens, and then you can stake here. And these are the really valuable ones where you need 75 pineapples in order to get them. And they also limit how many you can farm here because you have a maximum amount of LP tokens that you can actually deposit. So this is a really interesting gamified way where you're essentially putting money to work to farm these, and then these become more than just pixels on a screen because there's a proof of stake mechanism at work here that's giving validation to these. And this Andre Cronje legendary, actually the first one sold for 7 Ethereum, and then somebody put it up for 77 Ethereum on OpenSea, which is the big, NFT marketplace, and it sold for 77 Ethereum. So that's what set fire to this, is that this Andre Cronje card sold for 77 ETH, which is a huge amount of money. And that, of course, made everyone rush in and start farming these NFTs because, of course, everybody wants to make 77 ETH off one of these cards. Why wouldn't you, right? And so this kind of set fire to NFTs. It's like a CryptoKitties revisiting, but this is actually using some more underpinnings of value to bring value to the cards. And so I've actually had Meme since about $100. It's been a phenomenal investment. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. I wish I'd gotten way more of it, but I don't usually FOMO like that. I'm happy to have gained so much. And yeah, I'm going to keep farming these because I want to get one of these legendaries. That's just something I want. It's slow going, of course, because I don't have too much in the liquidity pool. But regardless, this is a very, very interesting phenomenon here. We are essentially farming unique assets on the blockchain. And while the whole market was falling apart throughout September, Meme went from about $100 up to about $2,000, which is absolute insanity. But of course, it's based off of the explosion of value of the NFTs that you need meme to farm, essentially. And by the way, I'm not telling you to buy meme. In fact, the meme is Don't Buy Meme, which is their website, don'tbuymeme.com. And you can see they tell you don't buy, don't farm, and don't join Telegram. I actually really like the meme team. I like what they did here. I like how it kind of started as a joke, but now it's turned into something really special. They also did an artist series here where they had this artist did all of these sort of digital animations with the pineapple, which is of course their logo. If you guys are OGs of the channel, you know I'm a big fan of pineapples, but you can see just some really interesting physical animations that they created. I'm guessing this was done in Maya or something like that, but really interesting 3D animation. And you know, people went and mined these immediately as soon as they came out. And so if you guys want to go mine them, you can go mine these digital animations here and sell them on OpenSea. But again, this is what's going on with NFTs. And so you can understand these are individual assets on the blockchain, and there's only 250 of each one of these, and you can prove their scarcity. It's interesting stuff here, right? I'm not saying that these assets are going to hold their value. I believe it's a temporarily speculative mania, but regardless, the potential to create NFTs that do hold and gain in value, and the platforms that enable that are going to be a huge target of what I believe will be a sort of second wave of this DeFi run, of taking the concepts around DeFi and getting yield around different types of assets. Very interesting stuff. And that brings us to Aavegotchi, which is the second thing. I actually just took a position in Aavegotchi. It's a little expensive, way more than meme. I got in a meme at like, you know, $1 million or $2 million market cap. Aavegotchi is already at like $17 million market cap, but what they're doing is kind of interesting. And best way to explain it is actually through this Twitter thread from Private Chad. I don't know who this guy is, but it explains Aavegotchi in a way that you can wrap your head around pretty easily. My Chads, it takes some time to understand GHST, Ghost, Aavegotchi, but no worries, let me Eli 5. In order to understand Aavegotchi, we need to discuss why NFTs are getting attention from thought leaders such as QW Kiao, Andrew Kang, Andrew Cronje Tech, DeFi Dad. The last few months, DeFi has taken the industry by storm. Financial primates such as borrowing and lending, yield generation, and insurance is performed by locking, staking, depositing, and using as collateral ERC20 tokens, you know, like DAI, USDT, Link, YFI, WBTC, and Lend. Why stop there? Let's do the same with NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, i.e. each is distinct and has specific features, used to demonstrate ownership of a certain item, e.g. digital art. And of course, they have these marketplaces like Rarible, Super Rare, and then you also have collectibles like CryptoKitties, which we talked about. Even more recently, NFTs have also been used to create certain financial products such as insurance. So on Rarible, they're allowing you to buy tokenized insurance policies. So say you want to insure your DeFi spending, well, how do you prove ownership over that insurance policy? Well, they're doing it through NFTs. So you can really use an NFT as a special purpose vehicle to house ownership of anything. Now, I'm personally of the belief that things that are fully automated and digital, I do believe that insurance you can do this with, because you can have an automatically generated insurance policy. However, for you to actually have it automated that you would govern the ownership of like a house or something through an NFT, well, what happens if I sell the NFT to someone in Dubai? How do they take ownership of the house? I still think there's a lot of systems that involve counterparty risk for physical objects, but without getting cynical here, let's just focus on what NFTs are good at, or what they're designed to do, which is essentially allow for someone to have the keys or the ownership to an asset, whether it's a digital asset or whether it's a real world asset, though I believe we're still a few generations away from the real world asset thing being fully functional. Using NFTs that resemble digital assets and even real world assets in DeFi allows us to, for the first time in history, use all the locked liquidity into assets for financial primates, e.g. use Engine, upcoming Minecraft items, as collateral in Aave to borrow money. So essentially what they're saying is these locked or illiquid assets, like for example, if I have money that's staked in Aave and I'm getting Aave returns using A tokens, which is what we're about to get to for a second, that money is locked. It's illiquid now, but I still have these tokens that prove my ownership over the yield. So what if I could tokenize that ownership token and then make that move around and essentially move that? And that's what it's talking about here, is essentially taking illiquid assets like NFTs, or essentially in this case, ownership over A tokens, which are what you get on Aave, and essentially making those liquid and using them in DeFi. Now, if that was a lot to take in, just go ahead and smash the like button. Trust me, you'll understand everything. So now that we understand why NFTs will be important in DeFi, let's talk about Aavegotchi. In Aavegotchi, you create unique little creatures, i.e. NFTs, called Aavegotchis. They are rare crypto collectibles like CryptoKitties, but with a twist. To create an Aavegotchi, you need to stake it with interest-bearing Aave ERC20 tokens. For example, A-Link, AUSDT, AYFI. So essentially you go to Aave and you stake tokens, and then you get your proof that you staked those tokens, which are the A tokens, the A-Link, AUSDT, AYFI, in case you staked Link, USDT, or YFI respectively. Then you take those and you can essentially wrap them in an NFT so that the NFT controls access to those A tokens, and you can create an Aavegotchi. Contained within it is actually an interest-bearing token that's earning yield on Aave. So you're taking DeFi and you're wrapping it in the NFT world. And more importantly, those NFTs inherently have certain amounts of scarcity, right? It means Aavegotchis, unlike CryptoKitties, have intrinsic value, i.e. the Aave ERC20 token staked to create the Aavegotchi. In addition to the value being created from a rare collectible, it doesn't stop there. Like in an RPG, you can equip the Aavegotchi with NFTs. Yes, Aavegotchi and NFT can be equipped with so-called wearables, more NFTs. So imagine you have your base Aavegotchi or your base character, and then you can put on a hat or a watch or something, and each one of those things has a certain amount of limited quantity, making them more or less rare. You can think of it like a collectible game with some intrinsic value inside of it. Now, a lot of this is going to require learning, and that learning explains just how new all these concepts are. And when something is new and it takes a while for you to learn and wrap your head around, but the end conclusion is, wow, this could be really valuable, well, I think that's a tremendous opportunity. And it was certainly valuable enough for me to get my own position in Ghost or Aavegotchi and start really playing around in this ecosystem. At first sight, it's a fun collectible game, but maybe, just maybe, it will be a trend leader of a sophisticated repackaging, aggregating, and combining of existing DeFi products through Aavegotchis. And a quick update from Parsiq, they're actually now just released full tracking functionality for NFTs. And so again, Parsiq with another phenomenal and timely update, as NFTs are all the rage right now. They're allowing for automations based on NFT transfers, which I've said many times. For example, in our game, we're going to want to track if two users transfer an NFT item from one person to the other. Let's say that this is a special outfit or sword. Within our servers, it would actually, within the game, transfer the item from one account to another, based only off that blockchain action. And this is why I believe Parsiq, especially with their constant updates, will become a very popular middleware here in blockchain land. So shout out to the Parsiq team for that. So both Meme and Ghost, which is the token for Aavegotchi, are very interesting and new iterations, new generations of plays within the NFT world. Without a doubt, they're both complete experiments. But what we've seen is that the Meme experiment is so exciting that it ended up ballooning by something like 18x since my initial call of it. And when these experimental things happen, it's not like it's fundamentals like, oh, there's a banking partnership or a PayPal partnership. This is like, hey, this experiment is so interesting that it's captivated the hearts and minds of the community. And I believe that that's what NFTs are currently experiencing, is a bit of a renaissance. And it's right at the time that the DeFi mania is starting to cool down and people are still hungry. They're still looking for those gains. And the fact that Meme showed that it could do an 18x, which did a lot for the people who are holding that token, that means that these other NFT projects are probably going to be the beneficiaries of quite a bit of FOMO. And so I believe that Aavegotchi and Meme are both very interesting projects that show a step forward in NFTs. And as you guys know, I'm building a video game where the characters and the items within the game are NFTs. So I'm a firm believer that NFTs are part of the future of cryptocurrency having true utility and bringing in mainstream audiences. Whether or not Meme or Aavegotchi are truly mainstream products in the future or simple experiments today, they're very exciting, and to me, I believe people will jump into them looking for a little bit of a buoy as this market continues to slide without the hopes of a stimulus bill from Congress, who are currently preoccupied playing political pandering games in their attempts to fill the Supreme Court vacancy. So in short, I believe NFTs will pump over the next few days. How long it lasts, if it even happens, is all very experimental, and it's extremely high risk, so you should should know that getting in, that this is truly an experiment you're participating in. But if meme is any guide, I believe Aavegotchi could swell by a significant amount given the excitement around the NFT space right now. As the yield farming clones start to subside and as the heat around DeFi continues to wear off, I believe that there is a potential for NFTs to be the next wave. Now, I also believe that these NFTs in many ways fall short of what would actually trigger any kind of meaningful mainstream adoption. And that's why I've been working so hard in the video game sector, as video games, I believe, are the Trojan horse for the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. However, I'm excited to share these with you, and I'm curious, what do you guys think about meme, about Aavegotchi, about the lack of stimulus? Do you guys think that the market is headed downward? Do you think that this market can continue to bull without the artificial helicoptering from Capitol Hill? If you guys enjoyed this video, if you got value out of it, if you're holding meme and you did some nice gains off of that, if you're planning to get into Aavegotchi, or if you're an Aavegotchi Ghost OG, do me a favor and smash that like button. It really is a free and easy way for you to support the channel. And of course, if you guys are looking forward to my next video, I'm doing my best to unearth the most exciting and future-proof ideas here in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So if that's exciting to you and you want to learn about the most undervalued projects in the space, then do yourself a favor and hit subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little bell notification. That way you're the first one to know when I put content out. There's also been a lot of censorship of YouTube content around cryptocurrency and blockchain. So if you don't have the bell on, you might not even see my content at all. With that said, I thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to connect with me personally, feel free to follow me on Twitter at ElioTrades or join my Telegram group t.me/ElioTradesCrypto. The links for both of those are in the description. Thank you so much for watching. My name's ElioTrades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.